Hello, and welcome back to the Celestial Resistance and Daring Do. In today's episode, well, the tyrants have won in Equestria, but they haven't won down here. I'll decide that after I see what we do here. Harmony must be fought for. Many huddled around their radios set to the frequencies. The voice sighed a little and came closer to the microphone. Ponies of Equestria, Daring Do's voice crackled through the radio, whilst the factory workers gathered around to listen. Hospital patients sat up despite the pain. Athletes stopped competing to listen. I speak before you with two hearts. One is heavy, because Equestria has fallen to darkness. The shawl of evil has wrapped itself around Canterlot. As familiar skies are malformed, perhaps evil has won today's battle. Yet think of all the legends and stories your mothers used to read to you. How heroes ever won without the slightest of setbacks. The families of a small town near Portland all gathered in the home of their rich neighbor, who eagerly shared his radio. On the other side of the country, members of the Neua tribe had descended from the hills to listen with the archaeologist, ears glued to the words. So you must know that the second heart I speak to you is full of hope. We know that we will not accept the new regime that threatens our home. Their snake eyes set on all that we hold dear. And exactly why right now, there are those of us listening, though this is not the end, nor the beginning. It was apparent the moment we picked up rifles to liberate our lands, that we would not sit back and let tyranny choke what is dear to us. The older ponies in Baltimore retirement home and smiled fondly. The young mares and stallions of Stableside University rose to her words. The border guards who saw the dark clouds on the other side smiled, clutching the rifle with more confidence. Against all odds, we've proven time and time again that we can stand tall and proud. We're going to stop now? Would any of you feel content to slink to in the darkness? Do you feel like sitting down while Equestria is being drowned in malice? I don't think so. For as long as we can rise to our hooves, for as long as we have just one soul holding Equestria's flag to the skies, for as long as we have hope and stay true to our spirits, Equestria will live. We will resist. Equestria has hope in us, and we shall not abandon her. Let us fight for her together, for a better future. No price on harmony. Well, oh boy, whoa, that's a new portrait. Now we have a half-existing government. The first building blocks have been put in place for a real government, though until it is fully functional, we are still suffering from a lack of cohesion. I can't... Yep, sure, Terra has now joined. And, man, I can't believe you would betray. And you, at least you didn't betray, but couldn't even help. Interesting. Alright, so we got those to do. Okay. We've got a lot to do to fix things. Gardens to do. Alright. I'm just looking around, seeing... I have no idea who I'm gonna choose, to be honest. Yeah, that'll be bypassed, because, yeah. We do. Alright, well this is the next thing to do. But first, the Confederacy, as it becomes less of a wild idea and more of a concrete reality, is forging its own path. No more will ponies have only the options of princess or communism. Today a delegation from the Confederation of South States arrived at the capital. It was offering escape from both into a system of mutual cooperation. At least that's the party line. Whoever is in charge these days, the reality is that the Confederation are pragmatic enough to realize that eventuality that their little party is going to have to find allies to be viable. Don't mind the name, they say with charm and lovely sugar drawl. The Confederacy ain't just about being a southern pony, after all. The resource value and their money is good, but will that be enough? Yeah, I think so, because I think we need all the help we can get. If they're willing to work with us, I think we've got to accept it, no matter what. So what's going on with you, Crescent Glow? Ever since she was young, Crescent Glow has always loved Princess Luna. Tales of her kindness and beauty enthralled the young mare. And so, like many other Thrustrels, she sought to devote her life to the Princess of Night. Unfortunately for her, the millennium since Nightmare Moon's banishment had polluted the vision of Luna held by many ponies, leading to person's dismay when she learned that the Night Guard in Canterlot was merely a ceremonial role, and a ridiculed one at that. Still, Crescent persevered. She sought education at Europa University, and then on the day of her graduation, something miraculous happened. This is how she announced the return of her beloved sister, and Crescent got to see younger Alicorn with her own eyes. The joy that Princess Luna's return had brought to Crescent was matched only by her desire to remedy the Night Guard's perceived appearance as a joke. She quickly enrolled in Equestria's military, and through sheer determination, she outpaced all of her peers in office school. Last, in a cruel twist of fate, shortly after she finished training, Princess Luna transformed into Nightmare Moon once more. This devastated the young mare, as she privately did not wish to serve an evil alter ego of the pony she worshipped so dearly. And so when she was placed in charge of a portion of the new Lunar Empire's military, she and many other like-minded Lunars defected to fight for harmony, for that's what they believe Princess Luna would have wanted. The commander's next decree. Unfortunately, this peace we have is only temporary. Disharmony has swallowed the rest of Equestria, so we must prepare ourselves for the long road ahead. As a part of that, Daring Do wishes first to elect a civilian governor to help her run things back at home when she leads from the front. Alright, who we choosing? Or who's getting elected? The commander's next decree. Daring Do stood at the podium in front of her newly established parliament. While as commander, she had full authority in military matters. Today's election were a civilian matter. She had been granted the honor of initiating the first general elections. In addition, she had an important announcement. She hoped it would be taken well. She tapped on the microphone and cleared her throat. To say that we've accomplished a lot in recent times is an understatement. Just a few short years ago, this city wasn't much more than a tourist fourth destination. A New Stableside is probably the most notable city in the entire southeast, even more so than Baltimore. Our freedom from tyranny wouldn't be possible without the brave stallions and mares of our armed forces. Daring paused for effect. This brings me to my next point. While we succeeded in restoring harmony to this corner of Equus, the worst has befallen the rest of Equestria. Dark clouds are hanging over the continent, and soon they may come our way. That is why we must prepare ourselves to fight those who have been brainwashed by tyrants and disharmony. To that end, we will try to establish ourselves internationally as the true successor to Equestria, so that we can get the help we need to reunite our war-torn nation. The first step to that will be electing a president to run the daily matters of our fledgling republic, while I focus on leading the troops in our inevitable confrontation with Nightmare Moon and beyond, if need be. Holding back a tired sigh, she forced a smile to ease every pony's minds from the coming conflict. But the doom and gloom can come later. For now, let's get these elections started. A veritable uproar encompassed the entire room as the elections began in earnest. Daring Do's speech was transmitted across the entire southeast, and ponies everywhere flocked to their nearest ballots to cast their vote for their preferred candidate. Let the elections begin! Alright, I'm gonna do a quick save. As time went on, 4 candidates emerged as frontrunners in the elections. Representing the Friendship Lodge, Goodword spoke for most ponies who outwardly favored Celestia and valued she stood for, while his views on the princess were a bit more enthusiastic than most. Those views were also agreed upon by almost every pony. Crescent Glow, the former Night Guard officer from Equestria, had received a substantial number of votes from the terrestrial population. While she was a devout follower of the Princess Luna, she vehemently rejected Nightmare Moon, claiming that an entire people were fed poisonous beliefs for generations, and similarly claimed that lunarism is not inherently opposed to harmony. Hailing from Tenochtitlan, Chief Malta of the Nihua had become a surprising addition to the race. His extremely charismatic and laid-back nature had earned a large following. Some of his support can be tied to many of the recreational and conservational policies that he wished to implement for the native population, but mostly because of how matter-of-fact his views were. He just wants every pony's foals to grow up in a safe place. Perhaps the most shocking turn of events was the final candidate, a certain Dr. Caballeron, who seemed to have ridden his status as a villain and rival to Daring Do to great effect, as many fans of the Daring Do books secretly liked him more than the titular adventurer. No doubt the commander would have a word to say about this if he were to win, especially considering that he had fought against us in the war. The results were very close, but in the end only one candidate had earned enough votes to become president. Really? I think I'm between them or them. I think those are the most funny ones. He's the most funny, obviously. Yeah, I think I will. I kind of want to. Let me see. Why not? I already have my political advisor, so that's what it waits. But it's just fun. I like it. I just think it's hilarious doing it this way. Yeah. Dr. Caballeron, but how? So we didn't go with We didn't go with the Mericardant Apostle. As the leader of the Friendship Lodge, Goodword has become a prominent figure for those that love and support Clestial. He's often seen teaching from his revised journal Friendship. He's become more withdrawn ever since he heard what had fallen Celestia. We're not going for the harmonic Thrustrel. Stressant Glow has been declared president following a landslide victory in the election. Compared to our opponents, the reliable Thrustrel had more than proved their capacity in defending the region during the Civil War. He seemed the most capable of those running to keep order and lead the Southeast during one of its most difficult trials. We're not going with the amicable chief Following a close final count with Crescent Glow, Chief Malta of Nero, Nehua, has been declared president. Though he may not be as active as other ponies, the chief has proved an invaluable ally to both his tribe and to Harmony during the Civil War. Most believe that the Robo Stallion will be able to prove both with a Balam. Okay, first, the Confederate Economic Community. The Confederate Economic Community, sometimes short and rather annoyingly Econ, is an attempt to normalize and rationalize the economic chaos that came with secession and civil war. Lines of communication, which millions rely on, have been severed, and with this came shortages. Merchants no longer have the singular, monolithic presence of royal law to keep the rules of the market clear, and now even within the Confederate borders there are discrepancies in law and custom that drive business ponies mad. The southern half of the continent can make do without common currency. It cannot do without some degree of standardization across the region. We need to have the same words for the same things. To that end, the southern ponies have sent delegations to their neighbors. Peace and prosperity for all. Nice. The first building blocks have been put in place for a real government, though until it is fully functional, we are still suffering from a lack of cohesion. Okay, that doesn't have anything. That guy. To the surprise of many, especially the hero in the Southeast herself, our former enemy, Dr. Caballero, has won the election, is now president of the Southeast. Despite his insistence to the contrary, many are suspicious of his true intention, and whether he truly has the best for the Southeast in mind. Though this is what it was like being president. Caballon had heard of such titles overseas, of monarchs and prime ministers in such ruling nations. Never had he thought that he would be one himself. In a nation that had only known the monarchy and diarchy for years untold, in Asland he thought himself a dictator, if only for reasons personal to himself. But a president, elected by others, was certainly a future he could have never seen coming. Ironic, really, to find success because of failure, and the source of that success, well, the door opened and a very familiar pony walked in the room. Caballero made sure to settle himself into the president's chair, his chair. A smile formed on his muzzle. "Commander Daring," he purred, "how may I help you today?" Just as he had expected, the frustration on our face only deepened. The tables having turned was true delight. Finally, Daring exploded. "How did you, of all ponies, win?" she shouted. Out of all the ponies to pick as president, they chose you?" The president smirks. "Perhaps I'm just that charismatic," Caballero said, stretching back his chair. "Or perhaps your fans liked me more this whole time. Who can say? Why, is there an issue?" I actually stretched back in my chair, but you guys didn't see it. Daring had to be gritting her teeth to powder. Eberron was sure of it. No, there's no problem. She barely managed to keep the venom out of her tone. But I hear even one word about you trying to pull anything again. Eberron put a hoof. I will serve the Southeast to the best of my ability, and I hope you and I can collaborate in harmony, he said, turning down his smug appearance. I intend to honor the people's faith in me. After all, the smugness returned. Why would I lie when I've already won? Daring Do... Baller. Wow. Daring Do stomped the ground twice before storming out of the room. Well, time to be president. All the pieces for a real government have been put into place. Now all that needs to be done is to make it official. Oh, we got rid of... Yeah, Quibblepants is no longer one of our guys. Oh, no. That's sad. Well, the Socialists of Baltimore have been defeated. The issues that caused them to revolt have not. The Urbanites have a long list of demands for the new government. And if we are to be a united front in the Southeast, we must meet them halfway. And then we're going to establish municipal privileges. While much of the urban issues have been resolved, this simply isn't enough. The problems of the roads in the cities are bound to happen again, unless the source of the problem is rooted out. For this reason, the cities of the Southeast will be granted a considerable degree of flexibility to handle their unique problems as they see fit. Nice. The Civil War may have ended, but the animosity between common ponies has not waned in the slightest. Addressing this issue should be one of the first concerns, lest we suffer a second revolt. But now, let's see who we've got here. Dr. Cabaleron. Dr. Cabaleron is famous for being an antagonist in the Daring Do novels. What many did not know until recently was his humble beginnings as an archaeology student from Porto Cabello, the word of Aslan with all its rich historical depth. Darn it. I need to do this. From its endangered languages to its well-preserved temples, had been a source of wonder, and the only way for him to truly engage with it was a thorough search through into their past, selling relics to fund his archaeological studies, which pitted him against Daring Do whenever they crossed paths. Despite that, he would graduate with flying colors, setting himself up for a career that balanced quiet paperwork with adventurous fieldwork. That all changed when Equestria descended into civil war. His ill-fated Aslan's Free State was propped up by the bits he'd earned, armed by the mercenaries he bought, and motivated by a desire to defend the Nehua. But it was ultimately fall to Daring Do's resistance, where Cabaleron now takes refuge in. Yeah, let's try it. While he says he harbors good intentions in helping make Equestria whole, his villainous reputation precedes him, though he has sworn up and down that... Nice. Well, he's sworn... Though he has sworn up and down that he will not take advantage of his position in the new government. Still, every day that passes where he helps ponies from all walks of life is counted as a small victory. Perhaps in time he shall be known for his helpful reforms, rather than his former villainy. Nice. And yeah, I got trading with Skyfall. Safeguard the natives' culture. Just as the Southeast is home to many equestrians, it is a sacred home to the native population of ponies who've lived here for generations. Equally as important as recognizing their rights to live here is recognize the culture they practice, and explicitly protecting it in law. Woo! We're the good guys. Now what? You're a pretty good one. Oop, don't need to do that. Okay. Yeah, this seems like the best one to start with. Now let's upgrade you. And, oh, that's good for now. I might do that, but not for the moment. And yeah, now it's time to switch over. Besides these night guards, I guess. And the 3 night guards all set to do the Pegasi division instead as well. Alright. No, that seems to be good for now. Good, good, good. The native resistance is weakening. Reassure the doubtful. Despite the victory in the elections, proving that the good doctor has the people's support, many still maintain doubts or reservation about his honest intentions. A few speeches and photo ops in the factories and trenches should help calm and convince that Caballero, despite his alleged past history, remains devoted to the defense of the Southeast. I mean, I don't doubt that. It's only to his benefit to protect the place he's ruling. It's more that's not part of the thing that I was worried about personally. It's more exploitation that I'd be worried about. But you know, I'm him. I will. I still. I mean, technically, there are dudes here. I don't know. I don't know who I'm more feel like I'm playing as right now, but you know, whatever. The Confederates are determined to maintain their independence, but they know the value of cooperation. Some of the Republic's neighbors may be amenable to some good old-fashioned, mutually beneficial cooperation. To this end, the President has ordered several different parliamentary diplomatic missions, even those upstart rebels in the southeast jungles. Rude? Military missions would be a start, but a genuine alliance with at least one of the neighbors would be an excellent stepping stone to future security. We already have an alliance. What do you mean? Thank you for the combined arms training, though. That's very nice of you. The right words. When it comes to swaying the public, President Dr. Caballero had to admit that Derindu had him outmatched in many regards, with that damnable book series chronicling her adventures with a clear bias, if he did say so himself, and the many heroics under her belt. She was able to win hearts and minds in a way not many else could. He was supposed to be the villain in the story, at least according to her narrative. Caballero was no slouch at charisma, though, and knew exactly how to get the remaining holdouts of skepticism on his side. The reporters filed into his office, finding he had a chair ready for each one of them. They were who he needed on his side, the newspapers, the radios, ponies that others listened to. They were his most vocal critics, and soon his important allies. Let's get straight to the point, President, one of them said, pulling out a notepad and pen. What do you plan to do during your term in office? What are your goals? I plan to better make the Southeast and make it home for the Equestrians and natives alike. He responded smoothly, as if he had said it 1,000 times before. Though we are defenders of harmony, we must also never forget those who first originally lived on this land, and that we are their guests. Newspaper. I wonder who's going to be at this event. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. A few ponies muttered a few things to each other and took notes, and another stallion raised his hoof. President, many still believe that you are, for lack of a better term, the bad guy, that you have been written as. How would you respond to such accusations? With that, Caballero leaned forward a bit, putting on his best serious face. While I understand where the accusations are coming from, I can assure you that all my actions here are genuine, especially in these trying times. Equus has had more than enough villains recently, wouldn't you agree? He sighed, shaking his head. I've always had the interest of the Southeast and the natives in mind, and that will not change, especially in these trying times. Trying times. Yep, keep mentioning the trying times. That always convinces people. Or at least that's what they always use in the ads. I'm committed to a free and stable democracy, suited for this unique part of Equestria. Many of the ponies of the room nodded, and the president suppressed a small smirk. Everything was going as he had planned. Now, will there be any more questions from you, gentle ponies? I have all day, after all. My reputation shall be slandered no longer. What's going on? Oh, do I have... I apparently have more people now, or... But anyways, in defense of freedom. Establishing peace in the region came with a valuable lesson. Freedom isn't free. The last shot of the region's civil war was fired some time ago, but if the Southeast remain free and stand up for harmony, it must be prepared to fire again when necessary. Yes, most certainly. We have a massive enemy. I don't know when that completed itself. I actually just completely forgot about it. I would have had that horrific strike event if it didn't just, I don't know. What did I do to get it completed? War, detached country, has national spirit, political chaos. No. Ease tensions, Republican struggle, does not current ruling party is not harmonic and at least 50% war support. No, I'm still harmonic. I don't know, but I'm glad it worked out. Okay, so this is Army, this is Navy, this is the economy, I presume, yeah. And then this is Air Force. Alright. Oh, we don't have the option for that. Well, I mean, if you mean just being loyal to harmony in general, yeah. But we can't exactly, the Equestria is done. The great temples in the southeast are not only beautiful cultural sites, but bustling hubs of activity among the native population. And they are each a great beacon of freedom in the region, and as such sought to be protected by the word of law. Yeah, I like it. Oh, well, now we're having our economy be messed up again, or potentially become messed up again, so yeah, we better be ready to change that up in the future. But for now, I don't need that. This is fine. I'll probably do this next, because these don't get, yeah. Do I want any of these more? What I currently have? Not at the moment. So yeah, I think this will be the next thing I do. At war, more than 80% rolled tension. Oh, maybe it was the rolled tension went above 80 for a bit. That might have been it. Has detached country active? Did the political chaos? Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is for a bit. Rolled tension was above 80. That's gonna be my guess for what happened. But anyways, I think for now this is a good time to go ahead and end this video. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.